Welcome to APSC bro. Today we are going to do a special video as per suggestion and request from our special friend. We have made this video so that it can be helpful to all the people who are recently appearing for the APSC 2023 interview or any other interview for the civil services. Okay. Now, uh, see, this question we are making up is, are big dams necessary? Now, see, whenever you are appearing for an interview, it's very important to listen to the question which has been asked. You have to understand what is being asked. Now, suppose if the panel asks you, what are the impacts of dams on a region? That means they're asking you what are the benefits as well as the harmful impacts. Straightforward. They're not asking you the opinion. Now, suppose they ask you, um, how does big dams help us? That means they are asking you the benefits of big dams. So you have to listen to the question and answer accordingly. Now, if the panel asks you, do you think big dams are necessary? That means they are asking your opinion. And whenever there will be opinion based question, that means they are asking you your opinion, you have to be very careful, specifically when the topic is sensitive and moreover when the government policies are involved. Now suppose if they ask you, tell us about the dowry system, you can straightforward give your opinion. You can bluntly say it's a evil system, it should be eradicated, anything you want to say. But if the panel asks you in topics like this, are big dams necessary, now you have to know this, that the government policies are in favor of big dams, right from the beginning of the time since when the big dams have been constructed. So you cannot bluntly go against the government policy because you are appearing for civil services examination and your duty is to implement and look into the government policies. Okay, yes, you have to give your rationale, you have to give good reasoning, you have to show them that you know the topic, you know the pros and the cons and everything. But you have to, after giving your opinion, it may be in favor of big dams or it may be against big dams, but once you give the opinion, you have to also give a positive note how you think the government policies can be taken forward. Okay, or how the government policies are good. So you have to be positive in your approach. Now suppose, now why these big dams, big dams are very necessary for electricity generation or irrigation and everything. So why is this dilemma, like why is this big question every time pops up, are big dams necessary? See, when now rainfall is becoming sporadic, the climate change is real, there's variations all over the country, all over the world, there is energy scarcity, there is scarcity of water. Hence, the idea of storing water in a river in the form of reservoirs, in the form of big dams, is a utmost necessity. It's a great solution, right? For both the aspect of electricity generation, power generation, as well as irrigation purposes or any other water uses. But the question arises whether it is ethical to generate hydropower from big dams and high economic growth on the sacrifice of the underprivileged. Dams are usually made in the places, remote places, and for the construction of big dams, you're harming an entire ecology of the region. You are forcing people to be relocated, right? Thousands of people. Now, is it ethical that you are hampering the lives of thousands of people, underprivileged people of these remote areas, for the sake of lighting up your cities or the industries? That is a big question. Is the economic growth which is ensured by these big dams so necessary that you can spare or you can take away the lands and the livelihoods of thousands of people? Now this is a big dilemma and it's not an easy question to answer. Okay, now whenever they will ask you this question, are big dams necessary, whenever you answer this question, you have to first show why big dams are such an important aspect of the economic growth of the country for all other aspects. First thing, it is important for India's energy security. We know fossil fuel energy, non-renewable sources of energy are dying out, and it is not the solution for the future. So we need renewable forms of energy, hydro energy or wind energy, atomic energy, any form of energy. And hence, in order to ensure that India develops into a developed country, we need to have our energy security, for which we need our dams, right? For the irrigation purpose, because crores of people of India are dependent on farming, because of the climate change, because of everything, water scarcity, the agricultural aspect of the country is facing a lot of problems, on which crores of people are dependent for their livelihoods. We all are dependent on farming, right, for our food. So the big dams, in a way, provides us irrigation to the places where there is water scarcity, right? So these are the necessities. So when you are giving the answer to this question, first give the positive aspects why we need them. Now if you want to, you know, embolden or make your answer strong, you can give some information, like you can just say that the installed in renewable energy capacity of India today stands at around 40.9% of the overall installed power capacity. And India has an ambition of generating 500 gigawatt of non-fossil based electricity by 2030, so that non-fossil fuel clean fuel comprises 50% of our energy by 2030. So when you are giving this answer, when you are talking about energy security, you can simply say the renewable sources of energy at present counts only 40% of our total energy needs. And if the way we are looking at how we are going to get developed by 2030, we'll need huge amount of approximately 500 gigawatt of non-fossil based energy, so that at least 50% of our energy needs are fulfilled by them. And hence we need big dams. Okay, give this a strong point to your answer. If you want to further strengthen your question answer, you can quote Jawaharlal Nehru and say, even from the beginning of independent India, the government of India have always realized that big dams are necessary. Our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru proclaimed dams as the temples of modern India. That means if you want a modern developed India, dams are of utmost necessity. Okay, this is the first part of your answer. Once you finish this answer, next thing you have to highlight is what is the problem. Problem is, approximately 16 million Indian people have been forced till date to go out of their homes because of construction of big dams. Big dams threatens to uproot communities, destroy their livelihoods and river ecosystems, and which is a big problem. You can refer to the natural disasters in Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Himachal, and further strengthen your question and say these things are happening and it will happen further. Even in Northeast India, even in Assam, we can expect these things in the near future, which will be a big issue for the life and property security of the people. Okay. Now, see, if you want to further strengthen your question by some, if you want, just I want to explain how this happens actually. Now, see, suppose this is a river, okay? This is the river, this is the water. These are the banks on which we have our buildings and houses and other things, right? So, what happens is that whenever there's a river flowing, it will carry some sand particles, soil particles with it, with the water. Now when the velocity of water, if I call V as the velocity of water, is high, it will carry the silt and the sand particles with it. Okay, now there is something called settling velocity. Now when the water of this river will reduce to a minimum velocity, which is called a settling velocity, it will start depositing these silt particles in the riverbed. This is what happens in the delta region or any other places near its mouth. Why it happens? When the river enters into the final phase, just enter before entering the ocean, its velocity decreases, and because of which it deposits all its silt and other particles in that area. That's why deltas are created. Now what happens when you're building a dam? The you are stopping the water. you are only allowing some water to flow when you are closing the gates. Now this water, the velocity of this water will be very less. Now when this happens, it will start depositing silt along the riverbed, before which this deposition was not happening. Now because of this dam creation, this deposit have started to happen, because you are reducing the velocity of water. Now when this riverbed, you see, it's filled with silt and sand particles, the riverbed have risen. Okay, now the water carrying capacity of this river will get reduced. Now the water which was before within the river banks now will start overflowing, because you are reducing the depth of river. So it will start inundating the nearby areas. The floodplains will increase, and because of which the people have to be relocated. Furthermore, the creation of dams creates a lot of problem for the aquatic life, and it hampers the biodiversity. So these are the harmful impacts. You can always strengthen your question by adding small these facts, this scientific aspect, so that the person standing listening to you understands that this person understands what is the problem. Okay, so curses of big dam, you can say it leads to disasters. I have just explained how. You can refer to Uttarakhand, Himachal, or any other place. Reservoir induced seismicity, you said that when you are storing water, huge amount of water at one place, the problem due to an earthquake, the intensity of the earthquake or the harmful impact of the earthquake increases many folds. For this, you can refer to the Koyna and Warner region. In this place, after the creation of the big dam, within these few years, lot of earthquakes has happened, which was not before. And some genuine studies by pioneer institutes have established this fact that whenever you will reserve this huge amount of water at one place, seismic casualties or seismic disasters, chances of seismic disasters will increase. So these are the things. So you are giving both the harmful aspects as well as the benefit, and you have to balance your answer. You say that yes, we need big dams, but it has a lot of issues. So proper study before constructing any big dams, proper relocation plans, proper environmental studies are must. We must see that we are not forcing ourselves into a disaster by creating these big dams. Only once our studies are complete, we have to go forward towards the construction of big dams. And for the big dams which have already been constructed, their periodic checkup, their periodic assessment is very much necessary. You can refer to Chopra committee, who said that no hydropower projects should be built in the paraglacial region. Okay, like in the higher altitudes of the Himalayan region, they have said it should not be made. So these studies and this committee advices which are there with us, we should adhere to them. Okay, just because we are focusing on energy generation, we should also focus on the ecological aspects and the safety and livelihoods of all the people in those nearby areas. Okay, this way you can construct your answer. So I hope this video will be helpful for you for preparation, not only for this question but any other question which will be opinion based. um, Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe the channel. As I have informed in the previous videos, we have one interview program running on, which is a telephoning interview, which will be done at a time convenient for you. We'll be preparing answer questions specifically customized for you, which I think will be very much helpful for you in your preparation. If you plan to enroll into environment, please hurry. People are already enrolling into it. The links for those will be sharing in our comment boxes, and the link to the video which will help you in registering for the same. Thank you so much, and best of luck for the interview.